5:30, I'll call the meeting to order. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adam, if you are comfortable, we have requests for commissioners to remove their masks so they're better heard online. If you're comfortable with that, we'll allow that so people can hear our discussion a little clearer online. And on the recordings, approval of the minutes.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Approval of the agenda. Any changes to the agenda? Been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda as printed. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda is approved. Kevin, you're up.
All right, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. First off, we can use the state bid for the truck and chassis, for the truck that we're looking at. They only it's like an add-on, it's a four-wheel drive truck, so it's an add-on, but we're still allowed to use what they use for bid quotes. And I haven't got prices on tow equipment or the box yet. The truck and chassis itself, the state bid would be $102,989. So that's where I'm at right now with that. I guess in the past, that's the way we did have to use the snow equipment from Minnesota in the past, but we just need to sign a piece of paper. And that the state auditors allowed us to do that in the past also. So I guess really no action to take there until I get prices on the snow equipment or where we stand the box. Okay, the next, we did get our stolen pickup back. We had to go to Belcourt to get it. The items we had to pay to get it back in condition. Well, we had the towing bill from the towing place, Frank's Towing in Belcourt, when they got it from the person who had it in possession, and then he towed it to his yard. What was that cost? $220. They cut the exhaust off right behind the manifold, so we have to take it to exhaust pros. That was $325 to put all the exhaust back on. The rear tires, they had different rear tires on that were really weather checked. Surprisingly even held there, so we had to put new rear tires on. They were $304.90. They had switched out the battery for some reason and put like a really small car battery in it, so we had to put a new battery in for $155. And then they had some big fancy radio with a boom box and speakers and amplifier. We took all that out because we didn't know if the owner was going to come back and get it or what the situation was there. The new radio was $45. They had broken the ignition switch so they could start it, and that was $17, and that gas brake paint. So we got about $1,074 in for getting it back to what it was. I did turn that into insurance. I think we got $100 deductible, but I did not turn in any of the labor for work we did. But there was no body damage or anything like that to it, so. We cleaned up the seats, apparently they've been, whatever they were doing inside the cab, so it was stunk really bad in there, so we cleaned the seats, and cleaned the cab, but that didn't, that was just labor, it won't really cost me. So yeah, just to bring you up to speed there, we've got it back now, and it's got new license plates, ready to go. Any questions about that?
Cameras are working?
What?
Cameras?
Yep, cameras are all working. One thing, just talking out loud now, we've got room for 2 more cameras in our hard drive. And we might, at some point, decide to put some inside the building in case somebody tries to come inside and steal stuff. Or like if somebody comes in the office and gets unruly or whatever, we'll have one there. Not thinking about doing it yet, but we do have space in our hard drive for 3 more cameras. Yeah, 3 more cameras. Any other questions about the pickup? Yeah, a couple more things. I checked on the COVID funding for the bathrooms we talked about putting in the 4 shops. And right now, there is nothing out there in the state that's available for COVID. They told me we could use the money that we got previously, but I don't plan to use that earmark for so many other things that I'll just use what we have in our budget to put those back. And then Paul, KLJ couldn't be here, but he said he had an update for the bridge. They got all the survey work done on that bridge, and it's going through the stream crossing stuff to determine if they should put a bridge or box culverts. I'm hoping for box culverts. That's what told Paul. I mean, they work so much nicer, you don't have to worry about bridge rails and all that kind of stuff. So that was an update he gave me today. So that's all I have. If there's any questions for me. I was hoping to have prices on snow equipment for that truck, but didn't get them in time for this meeting.
Everything's been good as far as snow removal.
We've been really lucky.
Thank goodness. Anybody have anything else for Kevin?
Well, winter left yet.
Well, all winter left. Thank you for you and your guys for everything you guys are doing.
It was like this at 66. Open like this. I was out the field with 2-wheel drive pickup.
And a big one came.
Oh,
Jesus.
Good one.
Why do you do it?
I don't want to something like that again.
Remember that.
Well, if we put any stock into the old timers tales of 90 days after fog. You know, we had a lot of fog again in December, first part of January. So, yep, and hopefully it comes in the form of rain after winter's done, but Lord knows we need some moisture, but it's just not the kind that you shovel. Thank you, Kevin. Anything else for Kevin? I have nothing. Thank you again. Unfinished business, COVID discussion. I think building opening went well. That was a week ago, Monday, the 8th. I haven't had any complaints from any of the department heads. Candy said it has gone well. Crystal hasn't received anything from, people are still coming in. They're seeing the signs on the door, masks required. They're abiding by that. So we appreciate and then everybody following those recommendations as they're coming in. It's been busy. So vaccinations are going well with the Lake Region District Health with the COVID vaccinations. They do that on Thursdays. March, they will start Wednesday and Thursdays. Second dose will be issued on Wednesday. First dose with whatever is left over on Thursdays. But this week they have limited supply, they said, and it will be Moderna vaccinations. Is the only one they were allotted. And so they're going to try to prioritize people that need second doses of Moderna and those 75 and older that have not received their first vaccination. But everything's been going well. Employees and those using the building Thursdays have been asked to try to park not in front of the building, and that's been going well. People have been cooperating with that. City of Devils Lake's been coning that area off, and public health goes out there and removes the cones at 10 o'clock so people can pull up and park. They open the doors at 10:45. Vaccinations start at 11, and they really remind people to stay in their vehicles until that time. We were really worried last week with the extreme cold temperatures that we'd have standing room only on the first floor, but we only had 3 people come in. So it worked out really well, and people, for the most part, really abided by those recommendations from Lake Region District Health Unit. So I think every week's been learn something new, improve on how we're delivering those. But there will not be a syringe left with vaccination in it, and that will find somebody with that vaccination in. And so, and they only have a certain amount of time that those vaccinations can sit in that syringe. So we've been doing a great job with that. I don't think I have anything else on COVID. Numbers are way down. I think there was 12 active current cases in Ramsey County, so our numbers continue to drop like everywhere else in the state. So good job for everybody for doing their part to keep the numbers low. Any questions on COVID discussion? Moving on. State's attorney's position. I think I turned things over to our HR person, Crystal Beggs. Crystal, would you mind?
Sure. So we had one qualified applicant.
What? Yeah. Oh, I can come a little closer. That way with the microphones are, people will be able to hear you.
So we had one qualified applicant. Can you guys hear me with my mask on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Speakers may not pick that up, so you could remove that.
Take it off.
Okay. So did everybody have a chance to look at it? That was the applicant that applied prior, said that we could leave it in the pool, so I did, and that was the only applicant we got. He's qualified due to that, or, meets the minimum in the advertisement, so we would have to take and interview him at this point. However, it would be at the interview point that you would decide if he was, if you would offer him the position. So, but you do have to interview him at this point.
We would have to interview.
Right, yeah, yeah.
How many other applicants did you have that didn't qualify?
No, we didn't have any other ones.
There was one.
He was the only one,
Thank
and
you.
I feel like we got it out there. I mean, I don't know where else we would have put it, where it would have gotten in front of somebody else that was in,
We had any feedback that you might get some applicants this week or not?
I'm not getting, no. Yeah, I know that some comments have been, of course, the workload up in that office is, I think, kind of a deterrent for a lot of attorneys that are making this kind of money with that kind of responsibility up there. So I would just suggest, after hearing some of them comments, the commission down the road sooner than later starts looking at hiring another assistant up there, because I know Carrie was in the process of looking at that and bringing that over to the board, but just so you don't end up in this position again, if this person wants to take the job and it doesn't work out, and we're sitting in the same boat with this huge workload, and nobody to take. So, the suggestion.
Have you visited with this applicant?
I have, and I actually called I tried to get a hold of 3 references. I got 2 that were on there, and I got a hold of 2 prior supervisors. And the other one I didn't call as a supervisor because he didn't feel I'd get enough information from him. He felt he would just verify that he was employed with them. So then he asked me if I wanted to call the other applicant or the other reference on there was a judge. And I didn't get a hold of him today. So the other 2 references though are in there. I think it's kind of towards the back of your packet, which they came out. I didn't see any red flags in them references.
Crystal, is he aware of the workload up there? We want to get into an interview and he finds out what this involves. He is aware, you think?
I would assume he would. He's familiar with, I know Marn and Carrie up there. I know he's familiar with, the staff up in that area, so.
So because of the pressing nature of our need, I assume we're gonna probably want to call a special session. Is that something that we can do yet this week?
I would have time, and that would be a recommendation. The sooner the better. I had a couple conversations with Lauren Hallback today, and she pleaded with me, said, please, try not to delay this any longer. We need to help out there, she said. And so I'd like to see something happen yet this week if possible with Mr. Cummings' schedule and our schedules. If that would be possible.
I did visit with him a little bit about his schedule to see if that would even be possible, and he does have some flexibility in his schedule for this week.
On every day or?
Like tomorrow would be tomorrow evening, Thursday is like later in the day, and he said Friday early morning or late in the day.
Thursday would work?
Yeah, later in the day, he asked.
He's doing public defense, so I'm sure he's very busy during the day with court schedule.
Would Thursday evening be all right with everyone?
It's for the same time.
Same time, 5:30, just comfortable with that.
You have to contact them.
Right.
Again, do you have conflicts? Oh, that's right.
Can't take it, Andy?
No, I'll be here.
Oh, you.
So that Thursday at 5:30 works for everyone? Then I'd make that a motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to interview our candidate for state's attorney, Mr. Bo Cummings, Tuesday, 5:30.
The other thing is, and I'll put questions together. I've got some from other counties, the larger counties, and then also the ones we used prior. Do we want to just include for Jeff and we'll review them together, bring them to the meeting that night? Is that
That's fine.
good for you guys? Okay.
Thanks, so.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate everybody's willingness to see the urgency in this and try to get interview scheduled and they're through, so Thursday at 5:30 p.m.
You need a,
Hold on that. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Same thing. No, but it doesn't get old.
Other than that, we have, people notice in the back of their packet, the special meeting scheduled between Ramsey, Nelson County Water Resource Boards and Nelson and Ramsey County Commissions, Friday, February 26th. 1 p.m. Yes.
Do we have that noticed as a meeting as of the commission, so since we're all gonna be in the same place at the same time? I'm mean, we're not having a meeting, but don't we have to notice it if we're all gonna be there? There's technically a quorum to be present.
I think it's scheduled as a public hearing,
Okay.
is
Does
how,
it state where we're going to be there?
yeah.
Okay. Just double check. I guess.
Water
I looked
Resource
at it.
District, Board of Managers and County Commission of Nelson and Ramsey County. Yeah.
Yes. So do we don't have to take any further, do we have to take further action at another meeting following the hearing and everything of that nature? I mean, we voice support for the program, but we basically have to vote to finalize our approval of it after the following hearing.
Well, my understanding is, listen to the hearing. But we've already made that approval of, what is it, a resolution of necessity?
Okay.
And, if weather was cooperating above zero kind of thing, they had planned to start the contractor on that project as soon as we gave the approval of the resolution of necessity. Both county commissions. And that's something that state law indicates that they have the ability to do. And
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I was just kind of curious. I couldn't remember exactly what the process was again, so we had to approve it again or okay.
so that is certainly something where the need of, counsel for the county comes in,
Yeah.
to answer some of those questions, but,
I need to go back to that school.
we didn't have a choice on the meeting, we weren't asked. If you recall, at our last commission meeting, we asked, it was assumed that, we'd be meeting with the Ramsey County Board at our next scheduled meeting, kind of as it went. But, they had gotten together with Nelson County, and, Nelson County thought that it would be better suited if we met in between and made it more convenient for landowners of interest, and that's kind of a central location as it runs right to the east of the speedway where the meeting will be held. So that was their decision. I think, going forward, if there's meetings like this in the future, that we would ask them to clear it with the county auditors and the commission chair prior to scheduling those.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or publishing, and I think this was the soonest date they could meet while getting it in each county paper, afterwards, and that is one of the hurries involved in this, but that is something that was made clear, and we'll make it clear again, that they try to schedule these, asking the county auditors and commission chairs prior to scheduling these in the future. Any other announcements, visitors, delegations?
I'd like to raise a non-pressing question. Do we have any sense among the commissioners when we intend to return to our normal meeting room?
Next meeting, not soon enough.
Not that I don't like it down here, I just figured it's, since we're moving back to normal, we may as well.
We're harder to find down here, right? So,
We are certainly harder to find out here. But, and a lot of it, I guess, would be determined upon what we'd have on our agenda for public involvement. And maybe we can, certainly stipulate on the upstairs meeting room that, a capacity limitation to the audience. make sure that the audience would stay 6 feet apart. And, you know, if there was something that involved, great public interest, maybe we could move that meetings back down here. I'm not sure how much of a technology, from a technology standpoint, moving things up and down and back and forth. Maybe Steve could answer that for us. You know, if we decided to move up there one meeting and then back down here for another, is that a big issue, big problem?
That is not the issue. It'll fit in everywhere.
Right. It'll fit everywhere. So if the commission's comfortable with that, we could certainly move upstairs.
Maybe we should. What do you think, yeah? We got a good distance down here, I mean.
Well, I mean, yeah, we still
Everybody's
want to, I
comfortable.
mean, because we have to have our masks off and everything, I think we still want to set the example of trying to stay 6 feet apart if we can, within reason. You know, I was just looking at, when you were talking about COVID, looking at the dashboard, we've got 25.5% of our population in Ramsey County have already had their first shot.
Yep.
I think we're at about 9 or 10% for second, so we're rolling out vaccines pretty quick, so. I mean, if we buy ourselves maybe a couple more months, maybe we'll be up in that point where we can start to feel a little more comfortable, not have to worry about the distancing, that nature. I mean, I want to get back upstairs.
At the rate we're going, we should only be 50%.
As long as they keep getting vaccine, like Al said last week or last meeting, you know. If we get 1,000 doses, we get 1,000 doses in ours as quick as we can get 1,000 doses. It's just a matter of how fast we can get them here. So I would think it's prudent to wait at least another few meetings, and maybe by springtime when we have that nice weather, we can sit upstairs and look outside again.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have no problem with staying down here. I just thought it was worth asking.
No, I like it up there when you get the nice sunlight and everything
Yeah.
on the roof. So it'd be nice if we could get back upstairs again.
Let's wait till the flowers are.
There you go.
We'll have that discussion in a couple weeks. We'll continue meeting down here for now. Couple weeks, we'll see where those numbers are at. Hopefully the numbers stay relatively low as far as active cases are concerned. And vaccinations still continue at the rapid rate that they're going. And hopefully at some point we'll certainly let the public know well in advance that we'll be moving back upstairs at some point. So thank you for bringing that up. A lot of different things at the legislature. There's a bill out there about culverts and townships and counties to pay for them if the stream crossing standard indicates that they need to be changed out. Isn't that how you read that, Kevin?
Well, it's kind of for new construction, so, if there's no reason for it, if it's not shot, it's not rusted out, whatever, then you probably force them to do it. But if you're looking at replacing something or building new roads in there,
Well, the way I think it's being interpreted is that if somebody requests a stream crossing standard, and that should be the local road or political subdivision that's in charge of that road, but if that gets done and it's said that a larger one needs to be put in, then that political subdivision is supposed to abide by that decision. And where the problem it happened was there's a township down in Stutzman County that a lot of water had backed up on, and a individual landowner had requested a larger culvert or a solution to that. A stream crossing standards was done, indicated that a larger culvert should be placed in there, and it wasn't done. And so, and the township indicated they just didn't have the funds to replace it. In the meantime, and you know, this has been going on for several years, they replaced the culvert that was in there with the same size that was already in there, not accomplishing any, alleviating any of the problems. So, and part of the discussion at the county township level is that it appears that it could possibly potentially be a mandate for road political subdivisions, whether it be township or county, to have to go in and do that. And unless you're doing maintenance on a road or replacing a culvert anyway, or the culvert is bad, I don't know if you should be forced to go in and do it because you have some excess water somewhere. Excess water is coming from somewhere. And,
In the petition from the landowners could start the street crossing.
Yep, lot of different mechanisms. Although those stream crossing standards aren't the speediest things in the world to get done. And there is a new tool, and I'm not sure, Steve has been good with this tool, and we're hoping to compare with the stream crossing standards that Kevin has asked for, with this new mapping tool that has been developed through the International Water Institute that will give you the flowage of a crossing. So whether or not this tool comes close to what that stream crossing standards is from the State Water Commission's Office of the State Engineer could be interesting, because it could speed that type of situation up for local road authorities and water resource boards that are trying to accomplish these things. So that's all I have. So unless anybody has any other announcements. Going once, going twice. Meeting adjourned. I think there's a home girls basketball game tonight.